This is the Great Wall in Halo 2, and for 20 years, people have been trying to do the Great Wall Challenge, which involves somehow finding a way to get all the way to the bottom of this wall and then back up. But the problem with this is, the wall is a sheer vertical cliff face, and somehow you have to find a way to descend thousands of feet to the bottom of the map without dying. And to make things even more challenging, somehow you have to find a way once you get down to get all the way up to the top of the wall. So can we do it? Let's give it a shot! So this wall is right at the beginning of the mission's sacred icon. You spawn on a small platform that's actually facing the wall. So getting to the setup wouldn't be that difficult. But before we can even think of how we would descend down this giant wall without dying, we had to first come up with a plan on how we were going to get all the way from the bottom to the top if we could make it to the bottom in the first place. And recently I discovered with a combination of skulls that there is an object right at the beginning of Sacred Icon that essentially acts as a catapult. So in the Halo franchise, there are these Covenant radio towers, but the one in Halo 2 has especially unique physics. It's very light, but also packs a really heavy punch. And I discovered that if you throw grenades at the tip of this, you can actually get a lot of distance in the air. So the first step in this was to just beat this radio tower off the ledge to the bottom of the map. And luckily for me, the radio towers aren't truly destroyable in Halo 2, so they can survive a 1 mile fall without cracking in half. But because we need to get all the way to the top of the wall, we would need a blast using this radio tower that was powerful enough to send us up there, which would mean that we would need double overshields to not die from the impact. And luckily, if you have the Blackeye skull, right at the beginning of Sacred Icon, there are these little sentinel drones that you can beat down for double overshields. So now that I had the second step of this planned out and ready to go, I needed to face the reality that was the 1,000-foot death drop in front of me. I still needed to find a way to drop this entire distance without dying to a fall timer that lasts only 2 to 3 seconds. And luckily for me, there is actually a technique in Halo 2 called corner riding. Using this technique, if there's a 90-degree angle, you can switch between 2 different sides of it where the 90-degree meets to slow your momentum. But to be honest with you, it's one of the hardest tricks in all of Halo 2 to pull off. And I don't have a ton of experience with corner riding, but I was determined to get this done nonetheless. If you jump off of this ledge normally, you will die to a fall timer, but there is an elastic barrier that can slow your momentum enough that you can attach yourself to the corner. Now, when jumping off this ledge, you need to spam crouch right as you're hitting the elastic barrier. This will then slow your body down so that you can attach yourself to the 90-degree angle of the corners. See, if you don't do it right, you fall too fast and you die to fall timer. So I hit an elastic barrier right there. Let me get almost better. Oh, I fell. Oh. If you're able to conquer the first 90-degree angle, you then have to land on a ramp going the perfect momentum and transfer your body weight down to the second wall that is also 90 degrees, but is 10 times the length. Oh. Uh-oh. Sliding the wrong way. I gotta keep it on the edge there, because I gotta transfer myself to the lower one. I feel like I'm playing the 3rd level of Battletoads. This is that level difficulty. The one where you're on the motorbike. I never did beat that game. The game sucked. Damn it. I'm getting closer, but not that close. Still got an entire wall to do. Keep going. No! Oh. At this point, I was actually regularly able to get to the second wall, but I just couldn't hold my momentum between the 90 degree for long enough. And after about an hour and a half, I just couldn't do this anymore. This was way too much focus. Seriously, I don't know what it is about the amount of concentration that you have to dedicate to doing this corner ride, but every minute felt like 5 minutes in and of itself. So I had to take a step away because I was starting to get worse and worse the longer time went on. But I actually decided to give it one final attempt before I stopped. And then this happened. No. And while I failed this, I knew that I could maybe actually pull it off. Oh, I gotta give up on this. Maybe. So the next day, like 11, I ran it back. Okay, we're here, day 2. But this time, I had an ingenious idea. I was going to use a second player to get a checkpoint as I was actively engaged in a good corner ride. This way, I could save a bunch of time and only run back good attempts. Okay, I'm having the second player get a checkpoint. This looks like a good one. Oh, I lagged a little bit on it. Hopefully it doesn't f me up. And surprisingly, this actually seemed to be a pretty effective method to do this. Oh. Okay, what I need to make sure that I'm doing in this situation is reverting to the last checkpoint before I die, because if I die 3 to 5 times in a row too quickly, I will actually revert to the past checkpoint. So in all of the Halo games, they have a mechanism that prevents you from getting stuck in a death loop. If one or both players is dying within a 3 to 5 second range within spawning, and they do that 3 to 5 times in a row, it will actually reset to the previous checkpoint, which means that I would have to get a good corner ride set up again and have the second player get a checkpoint in the middle of this. Damn it! Which is less than ideal. No! Oh. Getting close. No. But the big problem with the checkpoint method is it's really hard to keep your momentum while you're in the middle of a checkpoint because you're either moving one direction or another, and it's hard to reset because you're actively falling. And the entire time I was thinking about it, I just felt like it wasn't a legit way to do this. If I was gonna do this, I had to do it in full from the beginning. And I also found that it was easier to keep your momentum doing this anyways, so... No! Oh! Well, I probably would have made that one had I not, paused it because I thought I failed. After 2 hours, I hadn't really made any progress on this. In fact, I was getting worse. I suck. Oh, this is getting worse. Every time I get down there, I just my pants, dude. As time was going on, I was getting more and more frustrated. Me, dude. But I just had to remember to have faith. No. Because all I needed to do was do this successfully one single time. I could be trash 99.9% of the other time, but if I hit that 0.1%, it didn't matter. Oh, that took so much focus. Oh. Oh. You see how far I just had to ride that? You can't even see the top. From where you land it, you can't see the area of the map that you were just on. Woo! So, after 2.5 hours, we were finally on to step 2, getting to the top of the wall, all the way up there. Now, my goal is to use this device right here to get all the way to the top of that wall, not even just that platform right there. And what I need to do is I need to go get this in position. I found out one time that this is the best object for launching in all of Halo 2. I gotta remember how to do this. I think I gotta like stick the inside of this. That's looking pretty good. So I did this one time and found this out, but I can't remember exactly where I stuck it and where I stood. Maybe it was a frag grenade? So because this wall is so massive, I needed to find the right combination of grenades and positioning on this radio antenna to maximize my distance. But this launch would have to be very precise because I would die from fall timer if I didn't hit the perfect height window. So it's basically like sniping a penny from a mile away. Ooh, that was good. Okay, I'm gonna try frags instead. Holy, that's way, way better. Okay, one gets me about halfway up. Let's see. What if I do this with 2? I overcharge this. If you overcharge a Covenant weapon, you can actually throw 2 grenades at once if you time it right at the cooldown. Holy shit. Whoa! Oh, I might hit the top of the map. This might not be good. Yep. I gotta be precise with this. So now that I knew it was possible to get the height needed to get to the top of the wall, I had to lock in. Dial in. Crunch the numbers. Do the calculations. Ooh, that's a fast one. Oh my gosh, I hit the corner. Oh, that was close-ish. So, in doing this, I ran into a major problem. There were 2 results. Either I was well short, or I went way too far in the air to live on the landing. Damn it. This was my closest attempt so far, but I learned something very important. Where to stand on the radio antenna to get the perfect height. If you stand about a foot off of the 3 prongs at the top of the radio antenna and then throw 2 frag grenades in a very tight grouping in the middle of the 3 prongs, you can get launched just a few feet above the wall. What the hell was that? Shoot. But after 40 minutes of trying this, I still wasn't close to landing on the wall. But I had an idea. What if I turned the radio tower to be parallel to the wall instead of perpendicular? That way I could try to transfer my momentum diagonally instead of vertically. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, how many checkpoints can you get realistically before you teleport to the next section of the mission? Well, luckily on Sacred Icon, there is no shortage of checkpoints and there is not an automatic load zone until about halfway through the mission, which means you can just stack checkpoints over and over. And in this new setup, I found that throwing 2 grenades in a tight grouping to the rightmost prong launched me right up against the wall without slowing my momentum. Come on! Oh no! And after only 7 attempts, this happened. Please live from this. Please live from this. Please. Please. Please live from this. No! I was so close. And this was the very next attempt. Oh. This might be it. Please, please don't die. Yes! Yes! I f***ing did it! No acrophobia, no f***ing nothing. Woo! Yes! Oh, that felt so good. Oh. Oh. I never thought I'd ever do this, seriously. So here's your proof that I'm not using acrophobia. Woo, let's check it out. Let's check out the area. Check out the view. Damn. Why does that kind of look like the lake from Delta Halo? See the entire map up here. All of it. Even the room below. You can see the chute that runs down. I can see a sentinel shadow, but I can't see the sentinel. That's hilarious. What does this look like in the H2A graphics? Not as cool. I wonder if I could cross this entire gap from all the way over there to all the way there. That would be freaking nuts. Damn. That's a second chute. This map is huge. This looks like the same view as Quarantine Zone. Almost exactly. I love how they even include the cloud movement in this. 343 did do a good job on some things. Oh no. Oh no, there's a ledge there. Woohoo! Let's go, boys. Let's go. The Great Wall conquered. Oh.